What's up, everybody? Welcome to Throwdown TV. I'm Gary Alexander. This is Jimmy Pedro, a judo ace and man from Zebra Mats, obviously. Jimmy, what are you doing in Vegas, dude? It's too hot to be just coming all the way from... Actually, it's hot in Boston right now, though, right?
It is. We've had a heat wave, 100 degrees, kid.
That's kind of crazy for you guys right now. I have some family from that area, actually the same area that you are. You guys are in Wakefield, right?
That's right. Wakefield, Massachusetts. I run a program called USA Judo National Team Force. We're a training center for USA Judo. I have 8 of my top athletes here in Vegas competing this weekend in the US Olympic team trials, hoping to qualify and make a spot to go to Beijing this summer.
Tell me a little bit about the team that you have that's coming in for the trials tomorrow.
Well, we've got 3 returning Olympians that competed in the 2004 Olympic Games. Taraji Williams-Murray, 60-kilo player, Rick Hahn, a 90-kilogram player, and then the second-ranked woman in the world, Rhonda Rousey, at 70 kilos. So we have a good, strong, returning contingent that's fighting tomorrow. And then we also have a bunch of young, up-and-coming kids that are hungry, that have been training with us for a while, and that we know are going to do us well this weekend.
You know, we always think about amateur fighters and you know, in the MMA world, everybody talks about amateur fighters and up-and-coming fighters and stuff like that. Tell me what it's like, because you yourself were an Olympian. You tell me what it's like to be someone training focused for the Olympics.
It's really, it's down in the nitty-gritty. I mean, you're doing it for the love of the sport. You know, you want to, all of our athletes, including myself when I was competing, you're doing it to become the best in the world, to win a medal for your country, to show everybody that the USA is the best in sports. And I got that shot one time in my career when I won the world title. But I took 2 bronze medals in the Olympic Games. At the end of the day, my brains and my work ethic is what earns me a living at my job at Zebra Mats. Not my judo athleticism. You know, I made really no money while I was competing. So it's really, these kids are doing it because they love it. They all work part-time jobs at either Home Depot or the local hardware store, or, you know, they work for me at the school. I mean, they're really scrounging things to try to represent our country at the games.
Is that really what was driving you, was representing your country?
Ever since I was a little kid, my dad instilled in me sense of patriotism and the fact that the Olympics is the most honorable way to represent your country. Outside of being in the armed forces, you know, you can represent your country in sport. And so from I was sold on the Olympics from day one.
I myself, not so talented in judo, get slammed around quite a bit, actually. My jiu-jitsu instructor is actually a black belt in judo, so he does have a little bit of you know, kind of a melding of the 2 sports. Obviously, you know, it comes from, you know, a melding of the you know, the one, as a matter of fact. But what do you think about judo in mixed martial arts?
Well, I think what we see is we see a lot of athletes try to transition over to MMA, but they usually do so when their judo career is all said and done. So they're either late 20s or they're in their early 30s already before they're even getting a start in mixed martial arts. And so you don't necessarily always get the best athletes from judo competing in that. But also, you know, judo doesn't have any striking. It doesn't have, the ground game isn't as sophisticated as jiu-jitsu. And therefore, you know, they're not really equipped to go into MMA unless they start cross-training and doing what the other athletes are doing. And that's spending a lot more time in the gym working on striking skills and working on where judo leaves off.
There's a guy that we all are familiar with, Carl Parisian, who is a very exciting fighter, a very tough fighter, a great striking, but what he brings to the table that I think most of your average fans find very exciting is his judo skills, are the judo throws and things of that nature. Very exciting, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's awesome to watch him execute judo throws out there in the ring. And I've known Carl since he was a young kid. I used to go to training camps. I'm a little bit older than he is, so about 10 years older. So I used to go to camps when he was a young kid. He was a young, up-and-coming, tough kid. I'm glad that he made it, transition over to MMA. I know being an inner-city kid, I mean, the money's where it was at for him. If he had decided to pursue his judo career and had the opportunity that everybody else had in terms of being able to travel around the world to pursue judo, he probably could have been a top-level judo player, but he decided to take the MMA route. The only thing I'd say to Carl is I wish he just did a little bit more professionally. He took his training, you know, a little bit more seriously and went into every single bout as prepared as possible as a professional, and then I'd have no doubt he'd do extremely well.
Well, prime example, BJ Penn. When BJ was just, you know, he's so talented, and then you kind of, you know, when you saw the BJ who was not really talented, I mean, not really training as hard as he could have, and then all of a sudden changes his mind, changes his mindset, starts training like you wouldn't believe, and then we've got a guy who is running through everybody.
Well, absolutely. In this day and age, MMA is as professional as it gets. These guys are training 6-8 hours a day. They're training in all disciplines. It's no longer the day where one guy's sloppy in one discipline and skilled in another. They're very well-rounded in every discipline now if you want to be a champ, and you got to take it professionally. And those that really dedicate themselves to training extremely hard, George St. Pierre, you can tell he comes prepared for every fight. BJ Penn, Uriah Faber. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there now that are really, you know, taking it as a professional career, and they're reaping the rewards as a result.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about Zebra mats. In the Throwdown training facility right now, we have the brand new MMA mats. Tell me a little bit about what's going on with you and Zebra.
Well, I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Sales for Zebra Mats. We came out with a new product last year called the MMA mat. We've co-branded that with Throwdown, as you know, and we call it the Throwdown MMA mat, which is Zebra's 2-inch smooth vinyl surface mat specifically designed for MMA training. That has taken over all of our products as the #1 seller right now due to the MMA explosion that's taken off. So we're reaping the benefits as a result. But really, this mat is absolutely the best on the market, and it's not just because it's a Zebra mat. This thing has a smooth vinyl surface, which it eliminates mat burns. The foam inside of it is about 20% softer than our traditional foam. It lasts 7 times longer than any other mat out on the out on the market today. We jam. This is a 15-pound density foam inside this mat, whereas most things like that rollout foam really only has a 2-pound density foam in it. So we're cramming 7.5 times more foam inside our mat. It's going to last longer. It's going to perform better, and there's really no mat on the market that beats it today.
Well, I tell you what, I've noticed that I get very, very, very little when it comes to mat burns as far as the new MMA mats are concerned. And I think that without those mat burns, that kind of cuts down on the staff, right?
Absolutely. It's a safety issue. It's a hygiene issue. It's certainly for the recreational students that come in to your gym, which is really where you make a boatload of your money, is off of your recreational student. You can't have that guy picking up fungus and germs and stuff like that from open sores. And so what we did, and what we pride ourselves on at Zebra Mats, is really coming out with the best product for each application. And really that's what we did with our MMA mat.
Well, thank you so much for coming on Throwdown TV, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. Great facility, great place. I wish you guys the best of luck.
Jimmy Pedro on Throwdown TV.